Hey everyone, welcome to Tales in Text, and I'm your host Nisha, and a very happy Independence Day to all the Indians who are watching this video. And in fact, a very happy belated Independence Day to all the Pakistanis who are watching this video as well. This is a very special day for all of us South Asians, and I thought on this really important day in history, I would bring to you a book which has to be one of the best books I've read in my life, and it is something that I feel every Indian must absolutely read at least once in their life. And this book definitely goes into my top 10 books you must read in your life list. So without further ado, the book that I want to introduce to you today on Indian Independence Day is Outside the Fold, Essays on Untouchables and Untouchability by Dr. B.R.Ambedkar. So this book is a collection, an anthology of essays by Dr. B.R.Ambedkar. It is published by Panthers Paw Publications. So this is something that all of us absolutely need to know as Hindus, as Indians, and as citizens of the world. And unfortunately, not a lot of us do. I'm not proud to say that I have always been so well informed about this topic. It has only been recently, in the past couple of months, that my interest in learning about casteism and issues like untouchability have really been peaked to the point that I've been doing extensive research. And that's on me, that responsibility lies on me. But I wanted to bring this book to you because this book has really been a revelation to me. This book has been a force to be reckoned with. And I think it's something that every Indian and every Hindu, and especially every Brahmin, must read. And as a Brahmin woman myself, I needed this. And I think you do too. So before we dive into the book and what this book is actually about, I just want to give you a short profile on Dr. Ambedkar, just so that we all understand, who he is and the role he's played in Indian society. And I've actually made a bit of notes about Dr. Ambedkar, so I'm just going to read it out. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, or his full name is the Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, was born on 14th April 1891. He was the first Indian to get a PhD in economics overseas. He belonged to the displaced community of Mahars, which is a Dalit community in Maharashtra. And he faced firsthand the kind of discrimination that people from the Dalit community and people from people who are considered to be untouchables actually experience in India even today. So he experienced this firsthand, and he wanted to change how the situation was. Dr. Ambedkar came from very humble backgrounds, and despite all of the challenges that he faced, he was able to master over 64 subjects and was a linguist who was an expert at over 9 languages. Dr. Ambedkar's excellence in academia and in his profession led him to become one of the leading voices in the fight for India's independence, not just against the British colonizers, but also against the Brahmin colonizers. He is considered the father of the Indian Constitution, and he led the Constituent Assembly, which was in charge of developing the Constitution of India, which is a document comprising of the responsibilities and rights of all Indian citizens. So these rights and these responsibilities apply to every Indian citizen, irrespective of their birth, caste, creed, gender, sex, age, anything. Dr. Ambedkar's most enduring contributions was during the Mahat Satyagraha, which took place on the 20th of March 1927, when Dr. Ambedkar led a group of non-violent protesters to a public well within the heart of a Brahmin community in order to demand the right to access clean drinking water from a public well, a well that belonged to the entire public of India. Then in December of the same year, Dr. Ambedkar and a group of his followers also burnt the Manusmriti, which is, let's face it, one of the vilest documents in Hindu history. On 6th December 1956, Dr. Ambedkar breathed his last, and at the ripe old age of 65 left the world with a tremendous contribution to not just the Dalit community, but to the Indian community and to the world. He also left behind a treasure trove of knowledge in the form of multiple books and essays, which I'm presenting to you today, is a collection of his essays called Outside the Fold. So Outside the Fold, which is a collection of essays on untouchables and untouchability by Dr. B.R.Ambedkar, is actually an anthology of 13 essays, each of which express or showcase a different facet of untouchability as it is experienced in India. This book, like I said, it's a revelation. It might be very small, and in fact, at just about 119 pages, it's a tiny book comparatively, but it packs a punch. A lot of times, we come from families where we come from within this system, within the caste system, within the Varna system, and based on our birth, we just happen to be born into certain families which are either experiencing generational privilege or unfortunately generational trauma. And it's just through the accident of birth, right? And oftentimes we are unaware of this generational privilege, and we are not at all cognizant about the generational trauma that our community, that our ancestors may have wrought on other people, on other communities. I know caste and untouchability is such a sensitive topic, religion is such a sensitive topic, that this book review can definitely inflame a lot of people, wound a lot of egos. I hope all of us who are interacting with this video or who are interacting with this book take the time to, with a level head, a cool head, maturely think about what is written in these essays, and to be honest with ourselves, and to hold our country and our religion, Hinduism, accountable for whatever has happened in the past. Because ultimately, irrespective of how Hinduism evolved 3,000, 4,000 years ago, it is Hindus, the ones who are practicing this religion, who brought in these rules, who brought in these societal, who forced these societal oppressions. And therefore, as a community, as a religion, we are all responsible towards the upholding that we are doing of the caste system, upholding that we are doing of untouchability. So in saying that, this book, extraordinary. 13 essays, some of them just a couple of pages long, some of them quite long. Brilliant. They give you so much afford for thought. And in fact, at one point, I actually did face a lot of existential crisis. If you followed my channel for long enough, you will know that I love reading Hindu scriptures and Hindu epics and analyzing them from a modern lens. In fact, I have been doing that with the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. I bring these topics into the current era and look at them through various lenses. In doing so, I critically engage with these materials and I call bullshit on things that are bullshit, while I also compliment those that deserve compliments. Suffice to say that I am proud of being a Hindu. But because of my lack of awareness before, I was not aware of the toxic side of Hinduism, or rather a toxic side of Hindus, and how Hindus treated other people who also happen to be Hindus, just not ones within the caste system. After reading this book, I had such great existential crisis because I had lost faith in my own faith. And it took me a long time to kind of come to terms with practicing religion, as an individual who is a Hindu, who is proud of her culture, and understanding that there are problems with this religion and that I should not contribute to the problems, but I should find ways in which that I can try to eliminate these problems in whatever small ways that I can. I'm certainly not saying that I am a savior. I don't think any of us have the ability to be a savior, but we can all do little things that go a long way in reducing the toxicity and the tragedy that has resulted out of the caste system. This book is about bringing the truth of the Dalit community, the truth all of us shy away from, the truth that is hidden and underneath all the blankets, all the shadows that is hidden in the crevices of history, right? That is dressed up and decked up to be misrepresented during times of elections, right? This book is about revealing those truths. It's about unpeeling all that muck and dressing up and pulling it out of the shadows and showcasing light on a very real aspect of India, a very real aspect of Hinduism. So the first essay is about the source of untouchability, where untouchability comes from. The second one is the difference between slavery and untouchability. The third essay is about how untouchables are made to live in India. And again, when I say untouchables, I'm talking in the perspective of this book. I'm certainly not dubbing any person with this vile word. And I do apologize if I have hurt anybody's sentiment. This book, these essays were written mid-1900s. And so, although the essays are old, they hold true even today. So, in the third essay, when we find out how untouchables are made to live, these aren't just issues pertaining to the past. These are things that are pertaining to the present. And if we don't act now, they might continue into the future as well. The fourth essay is the social stigmas that the untouchable community face in their day-to-day life. The fifth essay is the commands of Manu, the 10 commands of Manu, pertaining to Shudras, or other, which is the fourth caste in the Varna system, and those individuals who fall outside of the Varna system, which comprises of the untouchable community, and how these commands of Manu impact these people. The sixth essay is caste and inequalities within the caste system. So right now we're looking at untouchability as something that is outside of the caste system, but there are a lot of inequalities that exist within the caste system itself. And so this essay, the sixth essay, talks of the inequalities within the caste system and how these inequalities actually contribute to the upholding of the caste system and upholding of the practice of untouchability. The seventh essay is about the regular day-to-day discrimination that the untouchables face in areas such as academia, professional growth, role in politics, and access to basic things like healthcare, food, water, shelter, and so on. The eighth essay consists of more rules by Manu to the treatment of Shudras and untouchables. So there are two distinct essays on how the Manusmriti has directly impacted in fostering the toxic practices of the Varna system and untouchability. The ninth essay is about the difference between the primitive tribes, criminal tribes, and the untouchable community within India, because these are three separate groups of individuals outside of the Varna system, which are two of which are legally recognized by the law, and the third which is illegally fostered. And how the fate of primitive tribes and criminal tribes is actually significantly better than people who fall within the category of untouchables. The 10th essay is about how the various Hindu scriptures and Hindu epics represent the Varna system and untouchability, and how they too in turn, apart from the Manusmriti, contributed to the fostering of the Varna system and untouchability. The 11th chapter brings the essays a little forward into the 1900s, where there are the revolts done by the Dalit community, revolutionaries who spring up, that is non-violent revolutionaries in the form of satyagrahas and everything that took place within the Dalit community for equality and dignity of life. The 12th essay is about how is actually a sort of a advice that Dr. Ambedkar provides other people of his community on how they can help themselves. And the final chapter, the 13th chapter, is about conversion, caste and conversion, whether conversion is the only or the best solution for subverting the caste system and untouchability. So in all, as you can see, the 13 essays are absolutely brilliant, and I think everyone should read this book. Panthers Paw Publication, I will put down their information in the description box. They also have an Instagram page, and you can actually place in your order through DMs. The book was delivered to me in about 3 days time, excellently packaged, perfect condition, and this book is very portable, as you can see, small, light, and you can take it wherever you go. And I think people should read this book. I have made so many notes here, so many, notes and underlines, just lots of tabs and everything here. I think every Indian should read this. I think every Hindu should read this. And I wanted to bring this book to you on Independence Day for the very specific reason that although we are celebrating 76 years of India's independence, this is the 77th Independence Day, 76 years of independence, not every Indian has gained independence. Not every Indian has gained freedom. Not every Indian has gained equality. Not every Indian has gained access to the same level of opportunities and resources. Not every Indian has gained the dignity of life and labor. So, while we celebrate this iconic day, let us acknowledge our privilege and remember that there is still a long way to go and a lot to do to help millions of other people in our country who are faring far worse. So if you stuck around with me so far, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to pick this up outside the fold. Essays on Untouchables and Untouchability by Dr. B.R.Ambedkar by Panthers Paw Publication. Thank you so much for watching. A very happy Independence Day. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.